And we're live from Seaside.
Yes, we are. We are celebrating our 24th anniversary, which is actually today. But we even chose to spend our anniversary with you guys. So we're here in Seaside. We found a quiet little place. We thought we found a quiet little place, and then there were lots of little visitors, so we had to move places at the last minute. But we are sitting here. The ocean is right behind the phones, and we are so thankful to be where we are. We've taken just a few days to rest and to seek God for some vision and to remember some of the dreams that God's put inside of us, and really just to spend time together, face to face, side by side, praying, talking, sleeping, lots of naps.
Lots of naps for me, which is very unusual.
It's a miracle. It's like a Christmas miracle for real. So we're going to be talking tonight to you guys about celebration. But before we do that, we've been asking you guys over the course of the last few weeks to share some of the things that we've been sharing with your friends, with your neighbors, with your Facebook family. And we told you guys that we wanted to give you guys an anniversary gift. What's the anniversary gift we want to give to somebody?
Well, since we're out in the wild, if you will, we're not in our normal setting, we decided to draw in our hotel room. So tonight we're giving away a free conference spot.
Yep. So for those of you who are joining us for the very first time, we have a fully connected marriage conference coming up in August. It's going to be in Granbury, Texas. If you want information, go to elevatehim.com/marriage. You can register. The early bird registration ends tomorrow. So if you want that early bird registration, you've got to get registered. But we are giving one away, and the winner is, can you give me a drum roll? That's not a very good drum roll.
I'm not a musician.
Yep, no drum roll. The winners of our giveaway for the shares on Facebook is Tommy and Melissa McGill. So somebody tag them, make sure they know that they won, and we will get in touch with you guys and we'll connect and get you guys registered for the conference in Granbury, August 2nd and 3rd.
We also had a couple reach out to us that wanted to stay anonymous and said, hey, we want to invest in marriages and we're coming to the conference, but we want to pay for somebody. So for you to register for that or to have an opportunity.
So we do have a scholarship available, and we also realize there are some other people who might want to donate to scholarships as well. But if you are in need of a scholarship, that just means you really, really want to be there, but you don't have the financial means to do that. All you need to do at this point is email marriage@elevatehim.com, and what we'll do is we'll walk through that process with you guys, and we have a scholarship application, and we would love to connect people who want to invest in marriages with people who need it and know that God's calling them to be a part of this but don't have any other way possible. So those of you who are joining, because it is our anniversary, we would love for you in the comments to let us know your favorite way you have ever celebrated your anniversary. So in the comments, make sure as we're talking you share your favorite way you've ever celebrated your anniversary. So we're going to be talking tonight about all the different types of celebration. And the first one is, it's kind of funny because Chad was like, why are we starting with that one? But really, before we can ever begin to celebrate anybody else or anything else, we have to learn how to celebrate ourselves. And what happens is we sometimes get confused and think that celebrating ourselves is prideful or arrogant or bragging. But the truth is, when we can celebrate who God is and what He's doing in and through us, it opens the door for, it gives everybody else permission to celebrate too. So one of my funny stories is I remember years ago on staff, I would have yay me moments, which means we would be a part of something, I would do something that I was really proud of myself, and I'd just be like, yay me! And it's that simple, but my yay me moments turned into times when I could tell Chad about something that I had done, or tell a friend about a victory, and they celebrate with me. But I had to get to the point where I was proud of myself before I could receive the encouragement of other people being proud of me.
And I would say for Megan, and what I've really noticed as her yay me moments, it does sound selfish, but it's not. It's what we need inside our marriage, because when I would celebrate her, then she was able to receive it in a lot better posture when I would celebrate her. And she would, whether it be words or time, or when I would recognize something that she did great, she would say, well, thank you for recognizing that. And then she would have a yay me moment.
Yay!
Yay me.
Yay me!
Yeah. And celebrate your spouse is another thing we want to talk about. that's something that for yous out there with littles and t-ball and baseball and soccer and all the things, this is where we forget to celebrate our spouse. And it's so important that we take the time, and that's what it is. It's time. It takes time for us to celebrate our spouse as well. And for me, it's words and time. And for me to celebrate Megan, I have to make sure I have to wake up saying, I need to give Megan my words, because that's what really gives her yay me moments inside our marriage. And then creating the time. And like for us this time, we weren't going to go on to celebrate our anniversary. We always celebrate our anniversary, but it was just a busy season for us. And the Lord said, you're going somewhere. So I booked a trip, and here we are. And that was really to celebrate my wife, not because 24 years is a long time, and I celebrate that well. And I'm excited to celebrate it, but I had to make the time to say that's what we're going to do.
Yep. And one of the greatest ways is that he sacrificed what he might want to do because he knows what I love to do. And to me, it made me feel so valued and so special, because sitting still on a beach is not necessarily the top thing on Chad's to-do list, but he has been here, and it has been such a sweet time for both of us. And we've been able to connect in a way that we couldn't have done in just the busyness of life and home and responsibilities and chores and yards that need to be mowed and dishes that need to be done and all of those things. We've been able to kind of run away from that for a minute and just really press into and focus on us.
And what I really love about this trip especially is, as I prayed on what to do, God said, you know what to do, and that's Seaside. That's my wife's favorite place. She does a girl trip every year to Seaside, and she loves it. This year she can't because we're going to be grandparents around the same time.
Baby Sutton's coming.
Baby Sutton. But what I love about this is God gave me a real just love for this trip, and I was able to enjoy it and really just enjoy what she enjoys about it, whether it be sunsets or walks on the beach or getting fried the first day, whatever that looks like. We've truly enjoyed being together, and God gave that to me because that's what she loves.
Yep. And so some of the ways that I celebrate Chad is just by being present and doing some of the things that he loves to do. Whether I love to do them or not, if I can put aside my own selfishness and I can say, I'm going to go to the gym because it's good for me and it's good for us. Or if I can go outside and pull weeds while he's mowing the yard. It's just that I'm invested. Amen. And really just celebrating what he's doing and also acknowledging it and noticing it. I remember one day he mowed the yard, he did all of that, and I didn't even notice. But it's the taking time to celebrate him and what he's doing. In the big things, like the work things, the big meetings that are coming up, it comes back to communication like we had talked about a few weeks ago, that I ask him what he's got coming in his day ahead of him or his week ahead of him, so that when we get to the end of those things, we can really just be like, good job, I'm so proud of you, or encourage them through those things.
And we just want to take the time. This is going to be a short one because we are celebrating our anniversary, but what God's done in our marriage. We have a really good friend of ours that continues to say, you need to write your story out. You need to write your story. And what's really cool this trip is we began to write our story out just in our alone time, together time, and just writing down the journey that God has taken us on. And we didn't actually get very far into it because it was several pages for me, which is like huge a lot deal for me to write. But it was really cool reflecting back on what God has done inside our marriage. And it's not because we're awesome. It's because we've submitted to the Lord. And has there been some ups and downs? Absolutely. But what I love and what I can't wait to share is the journey that God has shown us that we've been able to reflect on and bring us to this point today.
Yep, and we will be sharing some of that at the Fully Connected Conference, but that's the other thing we have to make sure that we take the time to, not just celebrating ourselves and celebrating our spouse, but celebrating our marriage. And that comes down to celebrating the good stuff and the hard stuff, because every bit of the hard things that we've walked through in our marriage has taught us something more about who we are and who he is, have strengthened us. And on the other side of some of the hardest things we've walked through, I can't imagine not having experienced and walked through some of those things. While it might have felt easier, we are stronger because of them. So we have to take time to celebrate our marriage, and that's publicly and privately. Publicly means doing things like when we put a challenge out on Facebook that says, celebrate your spouse today, or what are you thankful for? What are you grateful for your spouse? Participate in those, because nobody can ever have too much encouragement. A friend of ours says, nobody's ever said I've had it up to here with encouragement. And the truth is we can never, ever over encourage. So celebrate publicly and celebrate privately. If I'm not saying it to him in private, face to face, eye to eye, then it doesn't mean as much when I say it to the world, because then there's that little part of us that's like, well, why don't you tell me that in these moments? So,
Well, and I just want to say, guys, we talk about being intentional. This is such a big intentional time for us, because we didn't get what we are today by being lazy. And what we love about doing this Facebook Live and doing the marriage conference and all that, we have the advantage a little bit because we have to continue to prepare for it. But what I love about preparing for it is that it's keeping us sharp. It's keeping us connected and bonded together, and it's allowing us to grow daily, because we're daily talking about this. And so I just challenge you inside your marriage, if you're not doing a Facebook Live, if you're not doing a marriage conference, that's okay. But there's things that you can be talking about that will help to sharpen your marriage.
yep. So we celebrate our marriage publicly and privately. And the last thing is just celebrate who God is and what He's doing. And the greatest way that we celebrate is with gratitude. We turn everything back to God with gratitude. And one of the cool things that I got to be a part of over the last few months was we actually have a 21 days to cultivate a grateful heart YouVersion Bible plan. And this is the first time I've publicly said anything about that here. But if you're struggling with staying in a place of gratitude, I encourage you, go download that app. It will be a blessing for you. It'll be a blessing for your marriage. It'll be a blessing for your spouse. But it's just shifting our focus from what we don't have to acknowledging what we do, because God is good and He is in the middle of everything that we're walking through.
And sometimes it takes stuff like that to sharpen us and to make us grateful for what we have.
Yep.
You know, whether your finances are in a bad place and you and your wife are just not on the same page, you've lost your job, you're sitting at home, there's still things to be grateful for, and there's learning times that God has for you, but there's also things that we can be very grateful for. And this challenge, this book, 21 Days, really brings it out in you and allows you to say, hey, I am grateful. I am grateful for my kids, in my marriage, in my family. And so it's an awesome tool to share with your wife.
Yep. So here's what we're going to do. We want to just leave you guys with this last challenge. Like I said, we wanted to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. First things first, if you haven't registered for the conference, we're asking you to really pray about if you're supposed to be there. And not because we want all the people there. It's really because we believe so much in what God wants to do in marriages, specifically in your marriage. And so we're inviting you, come and be a part. Go to elevatehim.com/marriage to get registered for that. And then if you or you know somebody who wants to go but doesn't have the financial means to do that, let us know. Email marriage@elevatehim.com. And then last but not least, I'm going to leave you with some homework. Tell you, how much do you love homework?
I love homework.
So we're going to practice celebrating our spouse. So in the comments, I would love for you to tag your spouse and say something that just celebrates them, thanking them for who they are, what they're doing, something they've done, and whether it's a big accomplishment or the fact that they picked up their socks. It could be anything. We celebrate the big, we celebrate the little, we celebrate publicly, and we celebrate privately.
So continue to share this. We will be giving away conference restorations in the coming weeks. So as how we do that is when you share it, we put your name in a list.
Yep.
We put a little app on our phone. We put you in there, and then we choose from that who's going to win. And who won again this week? Say it one more time.
It's Melissa and Tommy McGill. I saw them on here, and
So
I'm
congratulations.
super excited about
Congratulations.
that. Yep. So share that, and then we have got some special guests joining us next week. We're not going to tell you who it is, but we
You
are
won't want to miss it.
very excited to bring our first guests on our Monday Night Marriage Talk, and we're going to be talking next week about community and how much we need community in our marriage. So you're not going to want to miss it. Set an alarm, put it on your calendar. We'll see you guys next week.
We love you guys. We'll see you next week.